Hey everybody, this is your daily dose of all things royal. Hello, my gorgeous, good looking friends. I'm back today and we are not going to talk about the Harkles. I know many of you are expecting this review of the TMZ No BS, which should have been titled All BS. However, I had watched both Bookworm and Avid Gardner's videos, and I thought that they were excellent. So I don't know if it would make sense for me to cover it, considering they pretty much said everything that I would have said and more. And I think that maybe you guys should check it out. I'll put the video links below. Check it out. If there's something that hasn't been covered or something that needs to be elaborated on, let me know, and possibly I can do a video surrounding that, but it doesn't make sense to be redundant over it unless you guys really want me to do it. But today, I want to talk about another royal that we need to keep our eye on during this Christmas season, and that would be Princess Eugenie. Many of us know that Eugenie and Prince Harry have been close in the past growing up, and as they became adults, were seen more hanging out on the party scene together. I don't believe that the wife coincidentally became friends with the one royal who was the closest to Harry. I don't believe that for a second. That's another topic for a different day. I want to focus on why I don't trust Eugenie. We're going to go back to the year 2011, when this vision of beauty entered into the royal family. And we can all agree that she represented the next generation of royalty. And unfortunately, these two royals, blue-blooded royals, were mocked relentlessly in the media. More so Eugenie than Beatrice, but both equally seeking limelight, looked like a bunch of hot messes out in public when it came down to fashion, and was constantly being compared to the new Duchess. When you look back at history before Satan entered the family, you see that there was this type of envy, more so with Eugenie. And with that envy comes frustration when they're forced to make public appearances with Catherine. After all, they're the ones with the royal blood. And you see standing next to this tall, lean, beautiful woman who is a commoner nonetheless. Must have knocked them down a couple pegs, for sure. What I've noticed when I look back at photos and videos is that Catherine and Eugenie never really engage or talk with one another. And when you look back at old footage, it's very clear that Eugenie goes out of her way to not talk to Catherine, nor even be near her, as if she doesn't exist. And you can tell that there are moments where Catherine does look hurt and upset about it. And I'm going to show you some of those clips. Let's start from the beginning with one of the very first engagements that Catherine had when she married Prince William in 2011. This here is at the Epsom Derby. So naturally, Catherine was the belle at the ball. Everyone wanted to get pictures and video of her, which is understandable since she just entered into the royal family. So Catherine begins to make an attempt. So she slowly turns around, and there you see Prince Harry. And in that circle, you can see a woman with the white hat. That's Eugenie. As you can see, she starts to engage in conversation, and Eugenie doesn't look so engaged, and I feel as if she's looking directly through Catherine when she's barely mustering any words back to her. So what does Catherine do? She starts to turn around because she gets the message. Let's take a look at another example that's more obvious from 2011. Here is Christmas at Sandringham. Eugenie rudely pushes her way past Catherine. And as you can see, Catherine notices it and turns her head to look at her. Watch how rude this was again. It's very clear that she was being passive-aggressive. This is the only other time that I've ever seen Catherine give that stare. You know, the stare that during the walkabout with Harry's wife? We know in both instances what was going through Catherine's head. This bitch! I think she was annoyed because as she's walking, she takes a moment to look back, indiscreetly to possibly look back at Eugenie. I would. If you notice, the same thing here again. Eugenie is not engaging. She's standing there behind, even though everybody is chit-chatting and talking. It's that cut direct. I'm going to pretend that you don't even exist. And then, like, you know that it's getting to her because there's this loud cheer. And you catch both Eugenie and Beatrice looking at William and Catherine. Of course, they probably feel like, I can't believe we have to go through this every time. And we all know that this was driving Harry's wife mental. If you notice, it's Beatrice that normally stands next to Catherine or would walk with Catherine, as in this clip. Notice where Eugenie is. Then in this clip, Catherine tries to engage with Eugenie, and as you can see, she's doing that cut direct again. It looks like that Catherine's turning to join into the conversation with Beatrice and her sister. But then you see Eugenie give these eyes and then rolls them, and I think Catherine gets the message, so she turns right back around. And as Catherine's speaking, Eugenie decides to dip out of the conversation. So this next one was at a reception for the Queen's 90th birthday at Guildhall. So you see the entire royal family comes in. For some reason, Charles and Camilla were not there. However, everybody else was in the correct line of succession. Harry ends up deviating as if he didn't get the memo and leaving Eugenie saying, do I want to go sit next to Catherine? And she's like, no way, Jose. I'm going this way. And being that they didn't follow the seating arrangement, they actually have somebody come in to guide the rest of the royals on where they need to sit. And Catherine's looking over there like, what just happened? And then you see Prince Edward come over, and he's just like, yeah, I don't know what happened. Now I'm sitting here, and surprise, I just bumped up in the line of succession. Ha 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 ha. When you look at Catherine, it looks like on her face she feels a little hurt. She's not as bright as we normally see her, but I could be wrong. However, she is looking over in the direction of Eugenie, so make it what you want. For me, when I look at all of this together, it gives more context into the dynamics of the family, as well as last year's Christmas special that Catherine had put together at the Westminster Abbey. It was very frosty between the greetings of Catherine, Eugenie, and Prince William, with many speculating that the awkwardness between the three of them in their greetings was a result of knowing that Eugenie was on the Sussex's side, especially being friends with Meghan Markle. During this interaction, Catherine makes it a point to say hello and hug each family member except for Eugenie, which Catherine doesn't outright ignore her, but she makes it very clear to treat her differently, which I think is pretty awesome shade. And she gives it back, the same treatment that she had been subjected to for all those years, back to Eugenie, making her be the one that's invisible. And the best shade was giving her sister this big hug and then started to just sort of ignore Eugenie to the side. And as you can see, Eugenie gets the message. She backs away to start talking to Zara Phillips. And we know that this frostiness between the two of them at least was still there up until the Jubilee, because Eugenie ends up posting this picture from the Jubilee and decides to cut both Camilla and Catherine out of it. To me, there still seems to be a lot of envy and pettiness with Eugenie, and I'm sure that it was exasperated by Meghan Markle coming onto the scene, because there's no doubt that this one had been yapping in her ear, probably saying all sorts of nasty things about Catherine and vice versa. Harry's wife saw that opportunity of the friction between the two women and most likely took advantage of it, getting Eugenie to become an ally of theirs. These narcissists are very good at getting people to have trust with them, and then they get information that they use later on to cause havoc, which I have no doubt Harry's wife most definitely got some secrets out of Eugenie in order for her to use at some point. It's going to be interesting to watch this year, the family interaction. Hopefully the Queen's passing makes the family recognize loyalties with one another. This friction between Catherine and Eugenie gets smoothed out. It's going to be very interesting to watch the upcoming Christmas special. So, anyhow, what do you guys think? Do you agree that there has been an ongoing issue between the two ladies and Meghan Markle has exasperated it to a point where potentially it could be extremely damaging to the monarchy? Share your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell button, and I will be back soon with more content. Bye!
I was such a fraud.